Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Anoka High School, where we have the Section 5 for a semifinal, the second game of the evening. The Osseo Orioles matched up against the Centennial Cougars. I'm Bobby Ursuline, joined by Casey Johnson. Casey, a 2 versus 3 matchup tonight. What are you looking for?
Well, I know it'll be an exciting game. We got the chance to cover the Centennial Osseo game on the 22nd of February just a couple weeks ago, a game that Centennial led at halftime, and Osseo stormed back in the second half and got that win.
Yeah, Centennial with a couple losses to Osseo this year. As we take a look at the bracket for the Section 5 4A, Roseville beat Champlain Park in the game just before ours, so they have advanced to the championship game, and the winner here of Centennial and Osseo will match up against the #1 seeded Roseville Raiders to see who goes to state.
Yeah, we got a chance to watch the end of their game. They look like a very impressive squad, but no doubt either of these teams would put up a strong match against them.
For the Osseo Orioles, number 45, Io Porte, she is going to be the force down low to be reckoned with for the Osseo Orioles. You see there in her last game, facing off against Moundsview, scoring 25 points. She's only a junior, but she's looking to put her team on her back tonight against the Cougars, take care of business.
Yeah, and she averages, 10 points a game, but the last time they played Centennial, she had 16 as well, so she had a big game just the last time they played a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and before the game here, Rosie Erickson had a chance to chat with the Osseo head coach, John Reiser. Let's take a listen.
Hi, Coach. What is your mindset going into tonight's game against Centennial?
It's been a long season. We really feel like we've earned our right to be playing in this game. And we feel like we're ready to play. Our mindset is we're just going to go out and do what we do best and try to do it better than we've been doing it.
Sure. Well, are you looking to change your plan of attack, even though you have defeated them twice already this year?
Anytime you play a team like Centennial or in the Northwest Suburban Conference, particularly Centennial and Osseo, you throw out those records. Every game's going to be a battle, and so you just got to go out and execute. We aren't going to change any things. I don't see Greg doing a lot of things differently. You just try to do what you do best and do it better.
All right. Well, who do you think's going to stand out tonight on your team?
When you have Janae Morton and Phyllis Webb, obviously those two are going to do their thing. Io Port is playing outstanding basketball right now, and our supporting cast of youngsters. Maddie Malone, Belinda Barfnick, who's a senior, doesn't score a lot, but she does all the dirty work in underneath the board. She's been playing well. Coming off the bench, we have some young kids, Katara Etheridge and Ari Jones, that have really been stepping up. Annie Shobin's a senior that just gives us quality minutes wherever we ask her to play. So obviously it's a team game, and we expect our team to play well tonight.
Well, thank you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you very much.
That was Coach Reiser, excuse my earlier butcher of his name. And on the Centennial side tonight, Jill Conrad is going to pull the matchup against Io Porte. See there against Coon Rapids, 16 points for Jill Conrad. She's really the force down low for the Cougars. She's got to set the tone for them tonight.
Yeah, and she also averages roughly 10 points per game on the season, but the last time they played Osseo, she had a huge second half, ended the game with 17 points, so she really kept Centennial in it in the second half. She was their main offensive focal point.
So we heard from Coach Reiser, and Rosie also had a chance to catch up with Coach Greg Amundsen for the Centennial Cougars. Let's listen to what he had to say.
Coach, what are your thoughts going to the section semifinals tonight against Osseo?
Well, they've been a thorn in our side for 2 years now, so we have trouble matching their athleticism, but it's going to take all 5 kids to beat us tonight. So we're going to put a lot of pressure on the ball, and hopefully their good kids just don't beat them by themselves. So all 5 kids are going to have to beat us tonight.
Well, have you made any adjustments since last time you played them?
We shall see if they work out. Yeah, we've done some things. You're going to see some freak defenses, a little bit more pressure on the ball and not let them penetrate into the paint. So, yeah, we just had to tweak some things.
Well, Osseo is strong defensively. How are you going to break their press?
Well, last time we dribbled right into the jumper. They ran run and jump on us, and so we're just going to have to stay away from the jump person and reverse the basketball and we got to pitch the ball up a little quicker. You know, they're so athletic that if you throw a slow pass, it's intercepted, and you know they get in a frenzied mode, and it's really difficult. So I probably should have called a couple of timeouts last time. I think I had 2 left, but I like to have the kids figure it out on the floor rather than me making the adjustments for them. So hopefully they've got that out of their system now.
Well, thanks, Coach. Good luck tonight.
Thanks very much.
And that was Coach Amundsen with his thoughts on tonight's matchup. Let's take a listen here to the PA tonight as he introduces the starters. Take a look here as the Osseo ladies get jacked for tonight's game. Take a look here at the Cougars huddle. Starters for Osseo, Iaporte, Phyllis Webb, and Belinda Barfnick.
Nailed it.
Maddie Malone and Janae Morton in the backcourt.
And for the Cougars, number 11, Paige Wojtaszek, and at center, Jill Conrad. All juniors here, number 4, Katie Worth, 22, Destiny Morris, and 23, Deja Morris, the twin sisters. And we're about ready to get underway here from Anoka High School in this semifinal Section 5 4A game. Taps controlled by the Orioles. Coach Amundsen mentioned they'd be trying some freak junk defenses, and they start out in a bit of a 2-3 of sorts.
I'm no basketball expert, but that does look like a junky 2-3.
Very unique defense, and they get a stop on the first possession. Paige Wojtaszek, the senior captain, going to Northern State next year, the main offensive threat for the Cougars. And they'll look for her early and often, I'm sure. It'll be interesting to see if Centennial gets the ball inside as well, because last time in the second half, Jill Conrad had a huge advantage down there. Wojtaszek inside with the hook shot. So they post Wojtaszek up, and she scores from the inside. And there's Port deep over Wojtaszek. Picking up where she left off against Mountain View. 2 early points for Port. Osseo's just in man-to-man. And they will pressure, try to get their defense to lead to their offense. They are a huge transition team with a bunch of sprint tracksters in Webb and Morton. They like to get out and going with it, but haven't been able to force a turnover yet on this possession. And Centennial being very patient, Bobby.
Yeah, I'd like to see Conrad get down on the block here and post up, even though it looks like she's going to drive.
Nice lefty shot, can't finish, offensive board. She feeds Worth on the outside, up, nailed it. The junior guard buries a three. And Centennial stays in this very relaxed 2-3 zone.
Worth likes to let him fly from beyond the arc. If she can connect like that the rest of the game, it's going to be good news for the Cougars.
Actually, on second thought, it looks like a box and one with Deja Morris all over Janae Morton. The goal is to not let her touch the ball even. Morton and Webb are being shadowed by Centennial defenders, and now they force a turnover. Coach Amundsen likes that, and Reeser does it. Osseo will use their first timeout.
That's a good idea there by Coach Reeser. He understands that Coach Amundsen's staying true to his word about throwing those freaky defenses at him. He wants to take a timeout, settle his girls down, make sure they're aware. They are going to try and stop our primary players. The rest of you girls are going to have to step up, move around, get open. Let's take advantage of them focusing so much on the Stars.
Absolutely, and there's a look at the Cougars' recent schedule, winning 3 of their last 4, their only loss being against Osseo in that game, the last regular season game at Centennial High School. But yeah, Bobby, I couldn't agree more. It's a great time to take a timeout. No need to have a bunch of frustrating possessions in a row. Get settled and figure out what you're trying to do offensively against the junk defense. It looked like Osseo's trying to front Conrad if they have the opportunity to. Port's working around her in the post. Centennial's going to move Paige Wojtaszek around quite a bit. She's a perimeter threat, but also at 6 feet tall. Not afraid to go down low and get in the post.
Anytime you're 6 feet tall in girls basketball, you better be ready to post up.
Deja Morris with an explosive baseline crossover all the way to the rack. And an early 7-2 lead for Centennial.
Great drive there by Morris.
Webb inside. And that's what we saw a lot the last time these two teams met. She had 19 points for the Orioles. Wojtaszek, 3 up, 3 down from the right wing.
That's 5 now for Paige Wojtaszek, leading all scorers.
She's got a bucket from the inside and 1 from the perimeter now, so showing her versatility in the early stages. Maddie Malone can't pull the trigger. Cougars daring her to shoot. Clearly not confident in it though. She finds an open Barfnick on the left block and she finishes. Centennial giving a lot of space to Malone and Barfnick, which makes sense when your other 3 players all average in double figures. Wojtaszek all the way. A little bit of body there.
Nice defense there by Barfnick to be able to get in between her and the basket. Keeping her hands straight up. You can see here on the replay, Wojtaszek with a strong drive, but great defensive position.
All ball up top. Wojtaszek working against Morton. Now Conrad working against
That's
Port.
a travel.
1 too many. So Wojtaszek and Conrad being aggressive early, which is very important for the Cougars. And the other thing that Centennial's doing, not only are they kind of dorking, is number 20, Katera Etheridge, who just checked in, buries a 15-footer. They're also giving a lot of space on the perimeter, daring the Orioles to beat them from 3-point land. So Katera Etheridge checked in for Belinda Barfnicht. And Centennial has the same 5 on the court that started the game. Destiny Morris to the rack hard. And gets it to go over the front rim. Maddie Malone fires a 3. Can't hit, strong, and Destiny Morris tracks it. Deja Morris tracks it down rather for the Cougars. A lot of contact there, no call whatsoever. Could have been a jump ball, but nothing. Phyllis Webb gets it. She's fouled before the shot by Deja Morris.
These ladies were in the WNBA. We would have had a little continuation there for the and one, but no dice here in high school basketball.
And that's precisely what the Cougars need to prevent, is Phyllis Webb and Janae Morton getting out in transition. That was a great lead pass. Centennial got lucky that they didn't get 2 scored against them, but they got to prevent that transition offense for the Orioles. Janae Morton's got some space and she'll fire and bury it from the right wing. She can do it all. The last game against Centennial, 24 points, 13 assists, and 7 steals. That's her first basket of this game. Destiny Morris going hard against Phyllis Webb, can't get it, gets her board, no foul. And it's knocked away, and now Morton's up and running to Io Port for the easy layup underneath. And Coach Amundsen doesn't like what he sees there, and he doesn't like this run by the Orioles to take their first lead of the game. Have to be very conscious about making sure people don't get behind you when you're playing the Osseo Orioles.
The jacket didn't stay on too long for Coach Amundsen. He's already got that blaze red out, firing. Good look here at the replay. Morris driving hard. Great defense again there by Webb. Staying straight up. Out on the fast break. Great pass forward up to Port from Morton. And you were just talking about it, Casey, that's what the Cougars need to prevent. They need to prevent those fast break opportunities, because if they let Morton and Webb run out there wild, this thing's going to get out of control quickly for the Cougars.
They're going to be in trouble, definitely. They got to make sure at least 1 and probably 2 people get back and sacrifice that on the offensive boards. But Wojtaszek off a lot on the 3, maybe deflected. It's saved, and Osseo's running again. Ari Jones to Phyllis Webb, who finishes in transition.
Great
Osseo,
transition basketball.
Absolutely, Osseo getting up and going and making some very nice passes.
And a great hustle play that came from Katera Etheridge. She did a nice job of saving the rebound.
Conrad can't finish. Wojtaszek, her 3 from the perimeter. The right wing, is off. Looked like Conrad maybe had another opportunity to go up with it after she missed the first bunny, but she didn't want it. Katera Etheridge and Ariana Jones in the game for the Orioles. For the Cougars, number 15, Haley Hoffman, is checked in, replacing Katie Worth. Morton, tough 15-footer. Can't hit. Good defense by Hoffman there.
Ooh. Close to a travel there from Wojtaszek. She turns it over.
Port knocks it away from Conrad. A tough entry to the elbow. Ariana Jones, her 3 from the baseline. It's off. Conrad collects the board.
Thought I was going to start seeing sprinkles after that rainbow.
A lot of arc. Wojtaszek getting back in the post. Nice pass to Conrad, who kicks it out to Hoffman, who buries it. Hoffman, the junior guard, comes off the bench and immediately provides a spark for the Cougars. They're daring Ariana Jones to shoot from the corner, and Deja Morris isn't giving Janae Morton any space. Katera Etheridge is off on her jump shot. It's deflected, and Conrad rips the board from Jones.
Strong rebound there by Jill.
A little bit of a size advantage underneath there.
You're right. That would have been very disappointing if she would have, if the Orioles would have been able to tie that ball up.
Yes. And Deja Morris's baseline 8-footer is deflected. Janae Morton will collect. The Cougars have 3 waiting to check in. The Orioles have 2. Really trying to make the Orioles beat them from the perimeter. Phyllis Webb and Janae Morton both getting a lot of attention. And Osseo in no hurry to take a bad shot. Got to credit their patience on this possession.
Webb's out there at the charity stripe directing traffic.
A lot of pressure, and Morton gets knocked down. No call. Etheridge, 15-footer. No good. Wojtaszek on the weak side board. She's tied up. Good hustle by Ariana Jones.
Possession arrow in favor of the Cougars.
32, Jasmine Britsoy. 40, JC Girding. 12, Jordan Coffer. And 30, Caitlin Ring all into the game for Centennial. Almost a line change. Maddie Malone and Belinda Barfnick are back in the game for the Orioles. A lot of new faces. And the Orioles will put on the pressure for the first time. Jordan Coffer underneath. Caitlin Ring can't finish. Well, another, no, not a jump ball. People have a foul on Coffer as Barfnick collected the board. A nice pass by Coffer underneath, but Ring couldn't convert.
I think she waited, it was a nice pass. She waited just a hair too long there, though, to get the pass off, causing the defense for the Orioles to be able to collapse down.
Definitely. Definitely. And now the Cougars will continue to sit back in this zone, even with Phyllis Webb out. Janae Morton, she's going to find Port underneath a gorgeous pass. Port can't finish. There you see Janae Morton's ability to really pass the basketball. And that's what got Centennial the last time. These two teams met. The pressure by the Orioles really put them in a funk. Janae Morton surveys the defense. Centennial needs to be able to take care of the basketball to stay in this one. Port aggressively to the bucket. She finishes strong.
Great move there by Port. 6 points on the evening for her.
And that's the kind of pass they got to be careful on. They can't lollipop a pass over the top of that pressure because it leaves them open to deflections, and other Orioles can maybe come up and jump in the passing lanes as well.
There's the turnover by the Cougars. Port doing a great job hustling on defense. She's been all over the court. She's been working down low, in on those fast breaks with Webb and Morton.
So Hoffman's got a couple of turnovers. Jordan Coffer into the game, drives hard left, he can't finish.
She's got that low scoop shot when she gets next to the rack.
Trying to protect her shot there. She's a little bit undersized. Just a 5'8" senior forward for Centennial. There's Webb, she gets baseline, misses badly as Conrad contests. And Britsoy kicks it up to Girding. Girding looking to find some baseline, and she almost loses it out of bounds. And she does. She steps on the end line. Wojtaszek will check back into the game, replacing Jordan Coffer, who only saw a couple minutes of action. Deja Morris also in. She replaces JC Girding.
Not a lot of points scored in the last few minutes of this ball game. I feel like we've been, well, other than that latest basket by Port, we were deadlocked at 15 for several minutes.
Yes. Both teams playing good defense right now.
Morton doesn't like that travel call from the referee. Wisely does not argue with him.
Katie Worth also back into the game, and I think with the early success that Deja Morris has had on Janae Morton, you might see her playing as much as possible this game. And Conrad gets inside with a lefty finish. Phyllis Webb just can't quite contain Conrad, as Conrad's got a couple inches on her in the post.
First bucket for Conrad tonight.
Maddie Malone fires it and can't connect. Wojtaszek almost travels. Tough pressure defense by Maddie Malone. Britsoy kicks it out to Katie Worth. Conrad looking to set a high ball screen. Worth doesn't want it though.
Hard screen there from Conrad.
Could have maybe been a push by Maddie Malone. Katie Worth Finds Conrad underneath, who finds Deja Morris from the right wing, and she knocks it down. First three of the game for Deja Morris.
Cougars are 4 of 5 from beyond the arc tonight, shooting 80%. That's a strong part of their game. When that's rolling, good things happen for them.
Absolutely, and that can maybe be the key that they need to combat the transition defense. Barfnicht fires it across the court to Webb, to Ariana Jones. And Osseo looking to move it around and get the Centennial defense off kilter. Webb finds an advantage inside. She puts up the top shot in the post, and she banks it in. Phyllis Webb, head and shoulders more athletic than anybody on the court, other than Morton, maybe.
yeah, even out of control, she's able to get herself composed in her shot to get that off the glass.
And what she lacks in height against Conrad, she makes up for in athleticism, as Katie Worth casts but can't connect. Morton double team. Ariana Jones, she'll fire a three. Can't hit. Good box out there by number 32, Jasmine Brittoy, and it's knocked out of bounds off the Orioles. So far, pretty much what we expected, a close game for, in the first 14 minutes here.
Yeah, both teams going in stretches, it seems. You know, the Orioles will creep out, then the Cougars will come back. Both teams pretty neck and neck up to this point. It's been an entertaining first half.
Wojtaszek pumps, steps to her left and knocks it down. Gorgeous move by Paige Wojtaszek.
That was a beautiful step back three. Shook the defender, knew where she was on the court, stepped behind the three-point arc and buried it. She's 2 for 3 from deep tonight.
And Annie Shobin into the game for the Orioles, as there's a foul called there on 23, Deja Morris.
Take a look at the replay here. Paige Wojtaszek with the pump fake, step back, drains it. That's the strongest part of her game right there, is when she gets going on those threes, it's tough to stop her.
Absolutely. She made 9 of 11 in a game against Hopkins earlier this year. So definitely a huge threat from the perimeter. Janae Morton really being hounded by Deja Morris. Very physical play. Phyllis Webb, she'll fire a three and miss short, but Janae Morton there for the board. She fires it up with the left hand and finishes strong inside. A difficult left-handed finish.
Morton and Webb doing a nice job of using the glass. It's kind of a lost art in basketball these days. They're doing a nice job kissing it off the glass, scoring buckets.
Absolutely, and this game just continues to get more and more physical. Deja Morris, she pumps, maybe shuffled the feet as she waited for the contact, but they'll get the foul on Phyllis Webb. Getting very physical. That last position, Maddie Malone kind of hit Wojtaszek off the screen a little bit, but very physical on both ends. And there's the Morris take. She gets bumped by Webb.
Able to get Webb up in the air and then lean in and take that shot attempt. You know, for as physical as the game has been up to this point, only 5 total foul calls so far. So the referees seem to be letting these girls play.
Morris connected on the first. She can't hit the second. Haley Hoffman just checked into the game for the Cougars. Io Porter, beautiful pass underneath the Phyllis Webb. Great backdoor cut.
That was a beautiful looking basketball play right there.
Great teamwork, knowing where Phyllis Webb was on the court. They'll call a foul on Morton. I believe that's just her first foul. And as you just mentioned, just 3 fouls for each team in the first half.
Look there at Courtney Calkins coming into the game, averaging just over 4 points and just a touch over 1 rebound a game this year.
Katara Etheridge also back into the game. Paige Wojtaszek, she gets deep, she gets bumped. And that's Morton's second in a matter of probably 5 seconds. Wojtaszek again showing her versatility. She made a 3 a couple minutes ago, and here she is in the post.
Morton taking a long walk down the court after this one. It looked like she was straight up at first, but you could see there on the replay from Debbie Cam down below on the baseline, she bent that left arm down, got her on the forearm, and you just can't do that, and she knows it.
Wojtaszek's got probably about 10 points here in the first
About
half.
10, it is exactly 10, Casey.
10.
You are right on the money.
Couple threes, couple free throws, and one post move, so double digits already for Paige Wojtaszek. There's some contact, but the steal to Girding. Girding out to Deja Morris. She's hit hard in transition, no foul. Wojtaszek gets it, she goes baseline, and there's the foul on point. Centennial really being aggressive on both ends of the court.
Great fast break opportunity there for the Cougars. It looked a little physical on the steal. Getting it out to Morris. Morris a little out of control on her drive. And then Wojtaszek here driving along the baseline. I don't know. Port looked like she got quite a bit of ball on that and not much flesh. So, but hey, the referee's right there. We're sitting over here. I'm not going to argue with the man.
It's always more difficult to call when the player ends up on the floor. We kind of give him the benefit of the doubt in that situation, but I definitely agree. There was the ball on top on both of those. Centennial forces another almost steal. And they're the ones applying the pressure defense now, taking a page out of the Orioles book. They lead 28-23 here. A deep three by Morton. Difficult shot. Calkins tries to track down the rebound, but she can't save it. Centennial will push it. Destiny Morris finds Conrad for 15. She gets, no, she's going to say the shooter's bounce, but she misses. Now it's up to Morton off her foot. She's had a rough couple minutes here.
Yeah, Morton just a little too out of control. Probably trying to earn a lot back right there on that fast break. Sometimes when things aren't going your way, you speed up your game and it can really throw you for a loop. You gotta keep your composure and understand you know what you're doing. As she comes up here, Webb with the pass. Just lose control of dribble off her knee, out of bounds.
Maybe a little bit frustrated right now. She averages 18 a game and been held probably at about 5 so far. Haley Hoffman with the offensive rebound. She fires it out to Wojtaszek, who fires again and connects. Her third 3.5.
15 points for Wojtaszek.
A huge first half. There's Belinda Barfnick with a set shot she can't hit. And that one's knocked out of bounds. I think it'll go the Cougars' way, and it will.
Cougars have things rolling in their favor right now. They've built an 8-point lead, the biggest lead we've seen here tonight. And they got to take this momentum and keep running with it right into halftime.
They're very much being the aggressors now, pushing the ball offensively, trapping and pressing on defense, and getting some perimeter shots to fall as well. Haley Hoffman hit one earlier in the half. The Cougars looking to get some sort of set play going. A lot of contact. 3 players on the floor.
That was a hard screen by Girding, I do believe. Trying to fight through it there was Barfnick, and she just couldn't get through the screen. Brought Wojtaszek to the ground.
I will give her credit there. I mean, Wojtaszek's made 3 threes in the half. You don't want her coming off the screen and getting an open look, so she was being tough around the screen and maybe, just couldn't quite navigate it. But you got to stay aggressive on Wojtaszek right now or she's going to burn you. Destiny Morris tries to spin. She puts it up from 8. She gets the shooter's touch. Beautiful move by Destiny Morris. And Centennial's opened up a 10-point lead with 30 seconds remaining in the first half. Centennial really doing a good job of limiting the Orioles' key players, but Barfnick, she can't scoop it in baseline. Port fighting for it, it's loose. Destiny Morris dives onto the floor and creates a jump ball.
Possession will stay down here for the Orioles. 16 seconds left here on the clock.
Morris did a nice job to get dirty on that play. She could have let Port just come up with it, but instead she dove on the ground and tied it up.
Especially up by 10 points here right before halftime. You're going to be able to rest in 16 seconds. You got to just put the pedal to the metal. Keep being aggressive for the rest of this half. Going to halftime with a nice lead.
Certainly, and she gets a rest here. 33, Sarah Groves into the game, as well as Katie Worth, and Ports wide open underneath. Don't foul, call it Waitashik. She might have been straight up. The Cougars will try to push with just 10 seconds left in the half. Katie Worth tries to shake Ariana Jones. Back to Conrad. Conrad's got to make something happen, and the ball will just get deflected and be loose. No shot for the Cougars.
Anticlimactic end there to the first half. I was kind of hoping to see Waitashik drain one more here before halftime, but to no prevail. Strong first half by really both teams. Take a look here at Jill Conrad, couple points, strong on the boards, quite a few assists as well. She's, you know, not really contributing a ton with points, but let's take it down to Rosie. She's got Paige Waitashik.
On the court with Paige Waitashik, number 11, 15 points so far. Great job. Your team is up by 10. Are you guys feeling pressure out there at all, especially since you're playing Osseo?
We're trying not to play with pressure, just high intensity, play our game, and we got this. But we got to keep it up, especially in the second half, because Osseo can come out and win.
Well, how are you?
Not let them, but
Exactly. Well, how are you going to keep your momentum?
just keep playing defense and denying the ball from all the Osseo girls. Just high pressure defense.
Well, what is going to be the key to a victory tonight?
Defense, definitely defense.
All right. Well, thank you, Paige. Good luck in the second half.
Yeah.
And there you see the first half score, 33-23, the Centennial Cougars leading the Osseo Orioles. And we will check out some first half highlights.
Here's Paige Waitashik. She's been hot all half long, working down on the block. Those are her first couple points of the evening. From that point on, it's been raining threes like nobody's business. She scored some from the charity stripe, working hard down low. Nice little pump fake, step back, draining the three. 3 for 4 from beyond the arc. Nice little kick out to Waitashik here. She doesn't waste any time. Catch, shoot, and drain. Io Port next here for the Orioles. She was a key contributor to them in the first half, scoring 6 points, working down on the block. She was also a key contributor in a lot of their fast breaks. She was getting out there with Webb and Morton. Nice pass up there from Morton to Port, finishing on the fast break. She's really put this team, you know, on her back down low. She's trying to work hard. She's been aggressive, going after loose balls, trying to get her team back into the game. Take a look at the halftime score there, 33-23. The Cougars out rebounding the Orioles by 8, even on assists.
5 rebounds. That's pretty shocking for the Orioles.
Pretty clean game from a turnover standpoint when you're talking about high school basketball. And Osseo 1 for 2 from beyond the arc. The Cougars, they have been draining threes this first half, also doing a pretty nice job from the charity stripe, and the Orioles haven't even visited it yet.
Yeah, that shows that Centennial's doing a good job of playing aggressive physical defense, holding them, the Orioles to only 23 points, but at the same time, they're not fouling, not giving Morton and Webb easy opportunities at the foul line, which is definitely key.
Most definitely, and we'll take a break here, but we'll be back with second half action right here on North Metro TV.
Check it out. Oh, that is magnificent.
Here comes the big one, Elizabeth.
I love it so much. I'm feeling a little guilty on account of me being married. There are 8 wonders in the world.
I can't believe it.
Pinch me. I think I'm dreaming.
Okay.
No, it's real.
Ooh, yes.
My name is Fran Sorensen. I am an artist. I am an educator, and I have been educating students for 25 years. I am also a collector. I collect salt and pepper shakers, I collect postcards, I collect rocks, and I write on the bottom of all my rocks telling where they're from and who they're from. I love square dancing. I make my own TV shows free at North Metro TV, and I love it.
Get started by signing up for free TV production classes at 763-231-2803 or eric@northmetrotv.com.
Lino Lakes is the gateway to the metro area, just minutes north of Minneapolis and St. Paul. Conveniently located on I-35W, this growing city still maintains its North Country feel. Lino Lakes values its award-winning schools. Outdoor lovers will discover miles of hiking, biking, and water trails. Growing businesses will find premier development opportunities with great freeway visibility and ready to help your businesses grow. Come to live, work, and play in Lino Lakes.
Have you or someone you know been diagnosed with an SD deficiency? Do you feel that you're missing out on the fun of high school sports coverage? Then take a weekly dose of Sports Den on North Metro 15. You'll be updated with highlights and analysis of your local schools, Blaine, Centennial, and Spring Lake Park. Warning, taking Sports Den may increase levels of adrenaline, resulting in cheering, applause, and high fives. Milder side effects may include a desire to see yourself on Sports Den, and in rare circumstances, answering trivia questions and winning t-shirts.
Sports Den work for me. Ask your coaches if it can work for you.
Come to Ham Lake and see how good life can be. Conveniently located only 20 miles north of the Twin Cities on Highway 65, yet Ham Lake has kept its rural charm. Residents of Ham Lake enjoy 1-acre minimum lots, giving you space to live with abundant natural green spaces and recreational activities like boating, fishing, golf, disc golf, camping and playgrounds, and tons of seasonal fun all year round. Ham Lake is home to one of the top school districts with consistent high scores in standardized testing and community ratings. Ham Lake is a business-friendly city and willing to work with businesses and developers of all sizes. Whether you are just starting out or looking to grow, Ham Lake has the business opportunities you've been waiting for. Life in Ham Lake moves a little slower, and that's the way we like it. Ham Lake offers space to live, to grow, and space to relax. Come visit Ham Lake and see for yourself what you are missing. Ham Lake is convenient country living.
What is North Metro TV Public Access? It's a community of amateur TV producers working together to make the kind of TV shows they want, taking free television production classes and gaining hands-on experience with our professional studios and equipment right here in Blaine. Get started by calling 763-231-2803 or visit northmetrotv.com. So, what is it? You tell us.
And we're back. We're back with the second half of this Centennial Cougars Osseo Orioles Section 5 4A semifinal basketball game.
Cougars coming out of the locker room, a 10-point lead, a nice hot streak there the last 4 or 5 minutes of that first half. Paige Waitasha catching fire from beyond the arc. See if she can keep that going coming out of the locker room. Hopefully she didn't lose her touch for the Cougars. And you can be assured that Osseo will come out with a lot of pressure defensively in the second half. The first time they played, they went on a 39-21 spurt after halftime. The second game, the same thing. They trailed Centennial at the half and ended up winning by 12. So Osseo's a second half team. There's a steal by Port, and she's going to get out going in transition. She's got somebody if she wants it. It's Maddie Malone. Swatted from behind by the trailer, Destiny Morris. Great hustle. Very nice hustle there by Morris, getting back on defense. But you were right, aggressive defense right from the start by the Orioles. Port on the break, nice pass to Malone. Can't convert because Morris with a nice hustle play. Webb, she can't finish. Port gets the offensive rebound and fires up an awkward shot over Waitasha. They're going to get a foul. I think she may be getting bailed out. That's Waitasha's first foul, so not really a concern there. Not many fouls in the first half for Centennial. That was the first free throw attempt for the Orioles. Not coming until 30 seconds into the second half. As you see Port with 10 points per game on the season, just short of 7 boards.
She gets a second, and that's an extremely surprising stat considering how athletic and how much Webb and Morton really forced the issue. Wojtaszek scanning, almost had Katie Worth on a cut. Conrad, she's gonna bump, lower the shoulder. Can't get it to go. Really trying to use her strength inside. And Morton, she's got a little space. She'll put up the floater, can't get it. Wojtaszek's fighting for the board, nothing there. That one's gonna go out of bounds off the Orioles. Looked like Deja Morris could have maybe been called for a push, and she kind of undercut Belinda Barfnicht.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised there wasn't a foul call there. Both players going for the ball. However, you're right, there was that undercut as she was, it's a tough, you know, the refs are letting them play, and that's why the Orioles need to get really tough on defense to try and dig out of this hole.
Conrad fights for it. Tough finish underneath. I don't know how she got that one to go. 3 Orioles defenders on her. She didn't use the backboard. An astounding finish.
That's one of those shots you want to hit in horse, and everybody gets upset because they all know they're getting the H.
Yeah. Maddie Malone from the baseline. Buries it. They absolutely need that from Malone and also Barfnick, too. In basketball terms, are being dorked. They basically don't have anybody guarding them. As Centennial really keys in on Webb and Morton. Morton knocks the pass away from Wojtaszek.
Nice aggressive D there, and that's going to be the key to getting out of this hole. You mentioned it, coming into the second half, they need to play aggressive. The referees aren't really calling a whole lot. So get in the face of the Cougars, see what you can get away with, and then go from there.
Absolutely. And they need their contributors, their role players to step up and make some shots. They want to get back from this 8-point deficit. Deja Morris kicks out to Katie Worth. Morton does a nice job of closing out on Wojtaszek, who fires an awkward shot, but Webb's there to block it.
Great job there by Webb, standing her ground, arms straight up in the air. That's all you need to do. A lot of times these girls, they try and go for blocks. You just stand there and force the issue on the shot, making it awkward.
She really held her ground well. There's Wojtaszek. She's getting underneath, and she finishes as Morton didn't want to pick up her third. 17 points for Paige Wojtaszek, and there's Katera Etheridge, who just checked into the game a few plays ago. So as we try to take a look at what Centennial's doing defensively, Destiny Morris is all over Janae Morton. Morris has a chance to find her twin sister, Deja. Deja pulls up from 4, can't get it to go. Maddie Malone had another opportunity to fire up a shot, but Deja Morris steps in front of the pass. A lot of contact. It's kicked out of bounds. Deja Morris is a little slow to get up.
Take a look at the replay. Just kind of a weak pass there by Maddie. Able to be picked off by Deja. Coming up the court, gets a little contact. But like we mentioned, these referees, they aren't calling a whole lot. Take another look at it here. She gets just past half court. Malone kind of runs right up next to her, maybe gets a little hip into her. But no call from the referee.
Kicks it out of bounds, yeah. You know, one thing, too, that I think is important to note is how good of a job Centennial's done defensively, obviously, but the scheme that Coach Amundsen has put together coming into this game, knowing that the last game, Webb, Morton, and Port combined for 59 points. Nowhere near that mark, obviously 15 minutes left, but Coach Amundsen, who in North Dakota won 9 Class A state championships, he really knows how to scheme, and he's doing a great job with his players today.
And also something interesting to note that you're from North Dakota,
exactly.
so you know that he had success up there.
I believe he won something maybe like 8 state championships in a row for the the Mandan girls basketball team. So the man knows his hoops, that's for sure.
Definitely a guy that you want on your sideline if you can win 8 state championships. That is for sure.
If you've lost to a team 2 straight times, a team that's athletically a little bit more dominant than you are, you want a master tactician on your bench kind of trying to figure things out for you. There's Wojtaszek's stat line, 17 points. 3 over her season average already, and we got 15 minutes to play.
A lot of those points coming from beyond the arc. She hasn't fired one yet here in the second half, but I can't imagine she'll go much longer without letting one fly.
Destiny Morris has a step on Etheridge. Can't finish.
Got to kiss the glass, young girl. You got to kiss that glass.
A little bit strong. Janae Morton crosses up. Wojtaszek, tough lefty shot, bad shot, but Webb's there to pick it up. She can't finish. Jill Conrad volleyballs it up, and Webb is there again. So Osseo between Port and Webb doing a fantastic job keeping the offensive glass alive.
Great work there by Webb down low. Doesn't get the first opportunity, doesn't get the second opportunity. She's back for more.
Kind of a wild shot by Morton, maybe forcing the issue. But she's got teammates there to clean up, but a miss from Phyllis Webb. Webb had 8 first half points. Now we have Haley Hoffman and J.C. Girding coming into the game for the Cougars.
At this stage of the season, these are the times where you need to convert from the free throw line. There's no excuses. You've had all year. You need to make your free throws because that can be the difference at the end of the day.
Here's that pressure that Osseo used the last time these two teams played to dig themselves out of a hole. We'll see if they can force some turnovers out of it, as I'm sure they'll stick in it for a while in the second half as they still trail. Centennial, Haley Hoffman. She got bumped. They'll call it Ariana Jones. She'll go all the way and finish with the left hand. A lot of contact.
I thought she was going to flush it there, Casey. I thought for sure.
She was really collecting herself, but didn't quite have it in her. Haley Hoffman's really struggled to take care of the basketball. She's got 3 turnovers. And Centennial's going to want to be sure they stay out of those corners because that is a prime place to trap. And another turnover. This is exactly what happened the last time these two teams played. A big lead for Centennial evaporated in a matter of minutes because of Osseo's pressure, and I would not be surprised to see Coach Amundsen call a timeout here if this game gets under 5 points. Or under 7, excuse me.
Yeah, another poor offensive possession, and he's going to have to call a timeout.
And I would think, oh, tough shot by Morton. I don't know what she's doing.
A little too out of control there. She did a nice job of maintaining her dribble, getting through the defense. But you can't just hoist up a shot out of control like that, especially not when you're down 7 points.
As they're starting to chip away, and there's Paige Wojtaszek, who I was wondering how long she could stay out of the game. Coach Amundsen brought her back pretty quickly, gave her just a short breather. They need her ball handling skills as well as her offense. She makes a lot happen for Centennial, and there's a poor pass by Deja Morris. Maddie Malone, she double dribbled.
She knew it right when she took the step. She was about to step with the right foot, and she realized, I can't do this, and I can't dribble either.
And that was a poor decision by Deja Morris. Maddie Malone, I think she picked up her dribble too long. She forgot she dribbled.
Yeah. Those 4 seconds can seem like an eternity. No, when you're in that fast break situation, you're trying to find somebody, it's easy to forget, well, what did I just do?
Got going a little bit ahead of herself. Centennial really needs a good offensive possession. Katie Worth, she's gonna, no. There's gonna be a push called as Deja Morris was trying to set a screen. It's on number 11, Maddie Malone. So maybe not the worst thing in the world. Katie Worth had a pretty open 3-point attempt. It's no harm done, really. Paige Wojtaszek steps back. She traveled. She caught the ball and then hopped back. I think that was a good call.
Oh, definitely a good call by the referee. He was right on top of that. She just took 1 step too many. She wanted to get behind the arc. She drained it, but she took 1 too many. Exactly.
She's really got great awareness on that play in the first half as well. That step back, she knew exactly where the line was. Same thing there, but she didn't dribble.
She was hoping the referee was going to get caught up in seeing if she still had a hot hand and not look at her feet.
Oh, Webb has a wide open layup. Rattle out. That could have cut it to 5 points. The Cougars might need to use a timeout here. They aren't anywhere near getting the ball over half court. And Worth is aware, but Coach Amundsen does want to use a timeout to collect the troops. Man, Webb just missed that layup.
That's not going to happen too many times.
No, sir. And also, in addition to the free throws, which are huge, as you were mentioning, layups, bunnies underneath. It's a 7-point game with 12.5 minutes left. Everything counts, and those easy ones have to go.
Most definitely, especially when you have such a nice, strong drive. You get to the rack, nobody's defending you, and you just can't kiss it off the glass.
And I might add, that probably doesn't happen very much to Phyllis Webb, who averages 16 points a game for Osseo. Somebody's getting serenaded with the happy birthday song, and we'll come back out of that timeout.
It's not you, is
It's not me. It's not my birthday.
Okay.
No, unfortunately. Centennial will come out with Waitasek, Worth, Conrad, and Deja and Destiny Morris. Osseo counters with Ariana Jones, Morton, Webb, Malone, and Port. They look to get Waitasek open on the perimeter, but nothing there. She spins inside and finishes nicely. Morton took away the perimeter look, but Waitasek countered with the drive. Destiny Morris knocks it away from Janae Morton, who's been hounded the whole game. Jump stop and converts on the other end. Janae Morton looking to get something going. She goes in aggressively, bailed out, I think, there. But the problem, as you mentioned, Conrad, if she goes straight up, maybe no foul. Well, she swats at it.
Exactly. Let's take another look at that steal by Destiny Morris. Great job. Nice little jump step as she gets to the rack to avoid the defender.
Morton not having a patented Janae Morton game. Few too many turnovers, missed that free throw.
That's 3 misses now from the line for Osseo.
She sticks that one.
3 for 6 from the line.
Osseo really needs her to get going offensively to dig themselves out of this 10-point deficit. Oh, there's a miscommunication between Worth and Deja Morris. Not much you can do there. Just one of those unfortunate get going the wrong way.
Katie Worth there didn't really like Ariana Jones giving her a little extra business on that back court call. Ariana Jones got right up in her, and then when Katie Worth came back at her, gave her a nice little shove. No call from the referee.
Belinda Barfnick hits that 15-footer, which we said the role players like Malone and Barfnick got to hit those shots if they're going to have all the space in the world. Phyllis Webb, she gets called for the push, and that'll be the second Osseo foul. 3 for Centennial in the half.
That's Webb's second foul on the evening. Not too much cause for concern at this stage of the game with only 2 fouls. She's going to take a seat nonetheless.
And Jasmine Britoy and J.C. Girding have checked into the game for the Cougars. Annie Shobin is in for the Orioles. Waitasek, beautiful 15-foot pull-up. She stuck it. Having a monster game. Janae Morton, both ends. Beautiful move. Can't get it to go. Port fighting for it. She collects the rebound. Great effort. But then she almost throws it away. Shobin, great job to corral it.
Morton and Webb having some difficulty finishing right at the rim.
Port called for it that whole possession. She works her way inside. No foul call. Katie Worth gets it. She fires it ahead to J.C. Girding. Almost travels, hesitation, and gets it to go. A couple players spill on the floor, but it's a 12-point Centennial lead. Janae Morton gets it knocked away. Ariana Jones, she finds Barfnick, who's got a layup, but she's, blocked and fouled. Very hectic pace of play the last minute.
A lot of fans screaming on that last bucket by the Cougars, coming from Girding that there was a foul. Quickly back up the court there. A little physical on that block attempt from Waitasek.
There's the pass from Worth. Almost a travel by Girding. She just slowed herself down a little bit, though. It was a nice move, a nice finish. And here's Barfnick. She got blocked, but maybe the foul from behind. No, they'll call it on Waitasek on the block, I guess.
Yeah, it looked like Waitasek got a pretty clean block. It looked like she just skimmed the ball, so not really a whole lot of opportunity for her to be getting any flesh on that. So, but again, we're not down on the baseline, so I'm not going to argue.
And Barfnick made both. Haley Hoffman's into the game, replacing Wojtaszek, and she's really struggled taking care of the basketball, so it'll be interesting to see if she gets a lot of pressure from the Orioles defenders, and that ball is knocked out of bounds by the Orioles. When Wojtaszek goes out of the game, it seems like they really amplify the pressure. Whereas Coach Amundsen's just trying to buy a couple minutes when they have a double-digit lead. I think he'll probably, if it gets under double digits, he probably will get her back in just a minute or so, but trying to buy her some time and get her a little rest. Conrad trying to get some position inside, but Britoy can't find her. Girding almost loses it. Pressure in the corner by Barfnick. She does a good job to keep it alive. Centennial doesn't need to hurry here. They look a little bit out of control. Jasmine Britoy fires the wing three. Can't get it to go. It looked right on the money, but she missed short. Morton, nice take, floater. Could have been a block too, but she banks it in. 8-point game. A lot of time left. Just under 10 minutes in the second half. Cougars making some dangerous cross-court passes. Destiny Morris can't square up on that baseline drive, and she misses. Janae Morton makes a nice hesitation move. Lefty, difficult shot. Phyllis Webb's right there, though. She puts it back. Even though it's a miss, it's almost as good as a pass because Janae Morton's forcing the issue and making people help on her, and then Phyllis Webb's open.
That's the second time that we have seen Morton throw up one of those left-handed shots just a little too far away from the basket. Obviously worked out well there. Webb corralling the rebound, her 5th of the evening, and scoring her 10-11 point with that bucket. But take a look at the replay. Morton, nice drive in. Almost, basically a floater with her left hand. Webb there to clean up the mess. Getting her hand in between Britoy and the ball. Able to put that bucket back, cut the lead to 6 points.
Continue to be immensely impressed with Phyllis Webb's athleticism. She didn't have much of an opportunity on that rebound. I mean, it was a 50-50 ball essentially, and she just went up and made a play, tapped it to herself, corralled it, and went right back up and finished.
Here's a look at the rankings, girls basketball class 4A. Hopkins sitting right at the top. You see Centennial down there at number 8. Roseville, who was victorious in the 6 o'clock game tonight, the number 1 seed in this section, ranked in the top 5. You don't see Osseo up there anywhere, even though they've had 2 victories against Centennial this season.
Yeah, I was going to just mention that they might not be ranked this high, but I could argue that they might have been the favorites coming into this game because of their previous success.
Most definitely, and to be quite honest, at this point of the season, you just throw the rankings out the window. It's high school basketball. Anything can happen on any given night. If you're basing it off the rankings, it's a little skewed.
Wojtaszek Kassin connects for the 4th time in the game. And she made one that didn't count on a travel, too, so she is feeling it.
So are we going to say she's 5 of 6 from downtown instead of 4 for 5?
Unofficially.
Unofficially.
That was a huge 3 as the game had gotten down to 6 points. Wojtaszek was the answer that they needed there. Having a monster game. Janae Morton really fighting hard against Deja Morris. She finds Ariana Jones on the baseline, who drives. Tries to pass it to Phyllis Webb, but it's low and hard to handle. And it bounces off Webb's shin.
That's a tough bounce pass down there. Just a little too much mustard on it, going right off the shin of Webb. It's tough. She's probably expecting a little scoop pass, and then she gets this laser off the court. Tough to handle.
Oh, Deja Morris turns it over. Ariana Jones comes up with the steal. Janae Morton might look to pop a 3. She gets the space, but she doesn't have it anymore as Girding switches back off and Deja Morris comes up. Girding, a lot of contact on Morton. Morton, I don't know where she's going, but she gets called with a foul called against her. That one's on Girding. Janae Morton really forcing the issue. Centennial's done a fantastic job against her. After a 24-point performance the last time they met, she's not really close to that this game. Conrad. Good post defense. But they're going to call a foul on Conrad after she got the steal, I think. A little bit of a late whistle.
That's a tough call, especially when you know that referee couldn't quite see from where he was standing with the bodies in the way, but hey.
And another miss inside for Ford, but Webb is there to corral it again. She's doing a great job of cleaning up the offensive boards. Wojtaszek hesitates, can't make it.
Nice job there by Webb. Standing still, making Wojtaszek adjust around her. Don't reach in, don't commit a silly foul. Make her adjust. She's moving quickly. She adjusted the shot nicely.
And the other thing, too, that we're noticing now, it's 6-2, the fouls. Janae Morton short on that three. 6-2, the foul situation. Centennial 6, just 2 for Osseo. So Osseo will be in the bonus the rest of the game. Deja Morris off to Conrad, but nothing doing there. And Katie Worth will set it back up for Centennial, who, you know, they can afford to be patient with a seven-point lead, but Phyllis Webb knocks it away. That ball's going to go out of bounds. Incredible hustle by both teams. Phyllis Webb knocked it away from Conrad, who was just a little too lazy with the ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the referees aren't calling a foul there on Conrad. I mean, Conrad basically just threw her body into Webb. I mean, obviously it was physical from both sides of that, but when bodies are flying, there has to be something that was done that you cannot do in basketball in that situation.
It looked like Conrad knew that she wasn't going to get to that ball, so kind of threw herself in the way of Phyllis Webb.
And luckily for Webb, she didn't roll an ankle under that or anything.
And Wojtaszek, she spilled to the floor oddly as well as she got kind of caught in the wreckage. Could have been a foul there as well, but it's a good steal by Phyllis Webb. And Osseo is forcing the issue defensively. Belinda Barfnick, she drugged that pivot foot. She got herself down in the corner with nowhere to go, and that's not a place you want to pick up your dribble.
I believe I just saw Coach Reeser tell the referee there was a little push, and I believe if I read the lips of the referee correctly, he said, not enough. Indicating not enough of a push for me to justify calling. Yeah, not in the semifinals of section, Coach Reeser.
Evidently. Centennial needs to get a good offensive possession. They've turned it over a couple times. Girding, she's got a 15-footer. She pulls up, can't knock it down. Conrad and Ariana Jones are there. Wow, Conrad had ball, but they're going to call a foul on her as Ariana Jones is the beneficiary of it, and she'll go to the line.
I don't know, it looked like both players had the ball tied up. Easy jump ball call off the shot here. Well, let's take a look. Oh, yeah, I suppose. Yep, Conrad didn't really have the ball. She had her arms in there.
Great call. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. I got overzealous. That was a good call by the official.
Osseo now in the 1-1 from this point forward up until obviously reaching the double bonus, but they'll be at the charity stripe on every foul. And it's key that they do that on their first attempt and their second, draining these shots from the free throw line.
And this is as close as it's been in a long time, just a 5-point lead for Centennial. You know, truthfully, I don't know why Osseo didn't employ this pressure earlier in the game with as much success as they've had using it against Centennial, but they didn't want to use it for whatever reason. Maybe they don't want to tire out their stars, but they're chipping away. Very reminiscent of the last meeting between these two. That one's out of bounds, another bad possession.
And as you mentioned early in the second half, that, you know, Osseo seems to kind of turn things on in the second half as we take a look at this replay. Worth looking for Wojtaszek, deflected there nicely by Jones. Great defense to get her hands involved, and Wojtaszek can't handle it. But no, you mentioned Osseo, a second half team. They're really turning it on. They're keeping it close, and they're waiting for that opportunity to strike.
Another basket here, and I got to think that Coach Robinson's going to want to use another one. Ariana Jones, Cass, can't connect. Great box out there by Jordan Copper, who just checked in. Now she's fouling. Very small lineup out on the court for Centennial. A lot of ball handlers, but when Conrad came out, a post didn't go in. It was Jordan Copper who checked in. So Wytoshik's really the post player for Centennial. It'll be interesting to see how they can rebound with such a small lineup.
I have to imagine they're trying to match the athleticism and the quickness of this Orioles squad.
Yeah, and they need the ball handlers against this pressure. Katie Worth, it's a great take, but she can't finish, and Janae Morton rips away the rebound. Sarah Etheridge got the pass. Maddie Malone, right wing. No good. Great box up by Coffer again. She's come in and done a fantastic job of boxing out Phyllis Webb.
Nice job of using her body down low. That's what you need when you bring in those players off the bench that play a key few minutes for you here and there. You want them to play aggressively, see what they can get away with, and you just got to play strong. Box out. If you get called for a foul, you call for a foul. You're going to play your few minutes, and then you're going to head back to the bench. Make it count when you're out on the floor.
And that's exactly what you have to do. You have to offer something to your team. If you're not a great shooter or scorer, but you can play defense and rebound, there's a place for you. Deja Morris trying to handle the Phyllis Webb pressure, and she finally passes it off to Haley Hoffman. Centennial has really struggled to get anything offensively. Very few shot attempts in the second half, especially the last few minutes.
Yeah, the last few minutes, I feel like we've been deadlocked in this 5-point game.
Nice move. Conrad had the open 15 first. She didn't want it.
She's got the ability to pull the trigger on that shot. She's got to be ready to take it.
Yeah, that's basically a free throw. Conrad inside, maybe make a nice, have an opportunity to make a move. That's a hold on Wytoshik for sure.
Great job there by Morton to poke the ball away, and Wytoshik could do nothing but hold on to her to not allow a fast break.
I'm really surprised that she didn't even try to turn around to get the ball. She was just grabbing at Janae Morton there.
So that's Wytoshik's third foul.
It's really a danger time period right now for Centennial. They have this look about them like nothing's going right, and that this is just going to be a replay of the last few times they've played Osseo. Coach Johnson might want to use a timeout because the body language isn't good for Centennial right now, especially from Wytoshik.
They're most definitely being out-hustled by this Orioles squad.
Centennial needs somebody to make a play and get a basket.
I thought I saw something, but I wasn't gonna. I didn't want to say anything because it was tough to see the way her body was angled. But the referee saw that double dribble. I think it got possibly hung up, maybe on her hip, caught in her jersey. I'm not exactly sure.
Let's see it here. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
She just brought it together. I think what she thought was on that initial pass, it was. She tried to corral the ball, almost not to dribble it, but just to kind of slow it down and drop it right in front of her to corral it and then to dribble forward. But the referee saw it as she dribbled, came together, and then tried to dribble again.
I love the way you communicated out.
Can you hear Coach Reeser here?
On that, okay, then get back to Conrad. Don't get pinned behind. You can't let him get those easy passes. All right, we've had a couple of dead balls. We've kind of let him get those. Let's not let that happen anymore. All right? On this side here, Phyllis, just as soon as you go, bam, you go, somebody else is coming down. We might not get the first one, but we might get the second one. And I know you can try, but you got this to start. All right?
Coach Reeser, his ninth year with the Orioles program, his first as a head coach, and really just telling his team, be aggressive, keep getting after those loose balls. And there you can see Paige Wytoshik's 24 points. That's impressive. But Osseo, like I say, just got to look about them right now. Like they're going to make the plays that they need to come back and get this win. I got that feeling right now.
And Coach Reeser, I feel all the way through this game, has been very calm and collective on the sideline. There's been a few instances where he really thinks his team's got the short end of the stick on some calls. But for the most part, he's keeping his girls calm and focused.
And I think maybe the reason they don't use the pressure so much is because it takes a lot of energy away from Phyllis Webb and Janae Morton, who really bear the burden of the responsibility there to get steals. Phyllis Webb's got great position inside. Forces it out!
That's
the hoop
big
and the
time.
hack inside! What a finish by Phyllis Webb.
Take a look at the replay here. Great feed down low by Malone. Webb doesn't even put the rock on the ground. She just goes straight up. That's what you should do when you get it that low. Go straight up. Hope that defender kind of peels their arm down. Webb there with 15 points. She's looking to tie the game right here.
Can't do it. Another missed free throw. They're going to call a foul on Ford. I don't know if I agree with that call, but Phyllis Webb's done a phenomenal job. I don't even know on that last one if she had seen the basket yet. She was jumping and turning simultaneously.
Take a look at the replay here. It looks like both players had that ball, but the referee out beyond the perimeter is the one that came in and made that call.
Not really in front of him, but you know, it's difficult to call all these jump balls and such because it's been so physical out there. Morton at Worth. Katie Worth plants herself. I think she gets a charge called, but instead she was hesitant there and backtracking, and Janae Morton took it right at her and got a foul called.
And that's the key. You just gotta be aggressive, attack the hoop, get that defender on, on their heels, backing up, then they can't get set.
And it has been a long time since Centennial scored a basket.
Oh, it feels like an eternity as we look there. Morton, and she was even a little out of control going to the hoop there, bailed out a little bit by Worth's foul.
Osseo has put the clamps down in this second half. Centennial, I think they had a 48-38 lead at one point. If I'm not mistaken, it has been absolutely all Osseo in the last few minutes of this game.
Morris bringing the ball up the court. Got a little bit of contact there by Morton. The Centennial bench really wanted a call, but to no prevail.
And Janae Morton and Phyllis Webb, the Eastern Michigan basketball recruits, they're seniors. They got the experience, they're more athletic, and they know how to make steals and force turnovers, and they've just done a fantastic job of intimidating the Centennial ball handlers into making turnover after turnover after turnover. Speaking of which, Osseo just turned it over. Centennial with just one senior on the floor. She needs to show a little bit of leadership here and maybe get a bucket for the Cougars. Port bumps Jill Conrad, excuse me, she flashes to the high post.
Port gave a pretty typical 17-year-old girl reaction right there to the referee. She stared at him, gave him the eye roll, probably uttered some words not very favorable towards him, then moved on.
That was a great find from Wojtaszek to Conrad, but she just didn't, she couldn't get it up over Port as Port made a nice defensive play to deflect that one.
Yeah, great job of keeping her arms straight up, shuffling her feet.
Same play. Destiny Morris, three from the baseline. Can't get it to go. Deja Morris fights with Phyllis Webb to the rebound, and it's off of Webb. As we're just under 3 minutes remaining in the game. Conrad inside again. Destiny Morris doesn't want to fire it up. Conrad tried to make a move. Deja Morris is underneath. Can't finish. Gets the rebound. Puts it up. Can't finish again. Conrad's fighting, but she's out of bounds as she deflects that one. Or excuse me, tries to keep it in bounds. Nothing going Centennial's way right now.
That's a tough break for the Cougars. A great feed by Worth to find Morris down low, and she just cannot convert on two opportunities.
Centennial is in an enormous dry spell right now, and they needed that one badly. That would have gave them a little bit of momentum. I mean, at least they could have regained the lead momentarily.
I don't know the exact point of their last field goal, but it has to have been 4 or 5 minutes ago, maybe even longer. They have not hit anything.
And the key is, I mean, I think it's starting with the defense that's being played on Paige Wojtaszek, because she kind of keys everything for the Centennial Cougars, and she hasn't been able to get any shots even in the last, like you say, at least 5 minutes after her last three. Her last three, which made it 48-39, I believe. It made it a 9-point game, and since then, nothing for the Cougars. Osseo is willing to be patient here as they have the 1-point lead. Maddie Malone, probably not who Osseo wants to have the ball necessarily. Want to keep it in the hands of Webb and Morton. But again, Malone collects.
And they seem pretty content with just kind of working, finding that shot, and not taking any chances.
You know, I'm not sure that I like this if I'm an Osseo fan, because that's a travel. Oh. As an Osseo fan, I don't think I want to watch my team try to dribble it out, because if you're not going to shoot, you're either eventually going to end the game or you're going to turn it over. That's the only other way the possession's going to end.
Tough break there for the Cougars. Wojtaszek with the reach, and she's got 4 fouls now, so she's going to need to be careful.
Malone gets it to go. Soft touch. But say this is Osseo's probably their biggest lead of the game, if I'm not mistaken. I think they had a 1-point lead earlier, but in addition to this one, but it's 48-50. Centennial trailing with the ball, 1:45 remaining. And Deja Morris, she was open momentarily, didn't want it. She tries to find Destiny and turns it over again. Again, Centennial's got a look about them that just says nobody's confident in what they're doing right now.
Yeah, Paige Wojtaszek, she needs to step up and make something happen right this second.
She's the only senior on the floor. Difficult pass. Maddie Malone finds Io Port. Underneath, she was fouled on top of the head by Deja Morris.
Take a look at the replay. A nice feed by Malone. Yep, got her right on the forearm. Morris came flying across, was not able to get the rock.
Big free throws for Port. That one's strong. She didn't take much time to collect herself there. Jasmine Bertoy checking into the game, replacing Destiny Morris. Coach Amundsen getting another shooter onto the court.
You never like to play the if they would have done this game, but they have missed 6 or 7 free throws this second half. And that allows the Cougars to still be in this game right now.
Yep, just a 3-point lead. Conrad gets it, she's bumped. Finally, a basket for Centennial. And Coach Amundsen wants to use a timeout here as it's now 51-50. Man, that ends a long Centennial drought.
Yeah, they're finally able to break that half-century mark.
They've really been, I don't want to use this word too loosely, but it seems like intimidated really by Osseo in the second half. Here's a replay of Conrad's last basket. Could have maybe been a little bump, but Malone does a good job to stay straight up. It was a very nice finish by Conrad to still make that with the contact. Maybe try to get in and hear what Coach Reeser has to say.
And Maddie's just going to go here. Janae's clearing through. Phyllis, as soon as she clears, you can take that hard step and come right off that screen. No, you should. We'll put Aaron down here. We're going to put Aaron down here. You're going to be here. We're going to get Phyllis coming off of that. Otherwise, if it isn't there, pull it out and run 4.
So it looks like they got Phyllis Webb curling off a high elbow screen, trying to get her some nice positioning in the post or an easy layup.
Seems like a decent strategy by Coach Reeser to take your best shooter and run a screen for her and see if you can get her an open look.
Absolutely. See if they can't get Phyllis Webb in a nice position to score inside, where she's shown time and again that she's more athletic than the Centennial defenders.
Win the game.
There's some good defense by Centennial, and they force a travel as Destiny and Deja Morris force Maddie Malone to travel. I would think that Osseo would want the ball in the hands of Janae Morton, but Maddie Malone had it there, and good defense by Centennial to force a turnover. They need a basket here. Deja Morris is open underneath momentarily. She had a chance to to kind of go up with a hook shot if she wanted it, but wasn't confident in her set. Katie Worth drives baseline, floats it up, can't get it. That's a jump ball. And it'll go Osseo's way. Katie Worth trying to draw a little bit of contact. She made a nice move to get baseline, but Ari Jones was, put up stiff enough pressure that she wasn't able to score on the baseline drive. Phyllis Webb takes matters into her own hands, gets the ball over the center line.
At some point, the Cougars are just going to have to pick and choose who they want to foul. Otherwise, the Orioles are more than likely going to be quite content with just running this box out.
They forced Janae Morton into a triple team. Great team defense. Like you said, you either have to, at some point, choose who you're going to foul, but until that point, you got to try to get that steal. And they did a fantastic job there to not foul, but force the turnover. Centennial still a little jittery, needing somebody to step up and put them ahead. 30 seconds left. Coach Robinson can take the last shot if he wants. Deja Morris drives. Can't finish, but she's fouled by, I believe, Phyllis Webb or Janae Morton.
Trust your teammate.
Phyllis Webb.
Trust your teammate.
Very aggressive drive. That's what Centennial needed.
That was a great play there by Deja Williams. Just take it into her own hands, drive it to the rack, and make something happen. Big first free throw.
I am very excited for the last 23 seconds of this game.
Yeah, this has been a great game from start to finish.
Or overtime, 23 seconds left. 51-51. Will Coach Reeser use a timeout or trust his players? Nothing so far. Maddie Malone looking to, she's being hounded by Deja Morris. Phyllis Webb gets it inside, puts up a tough shot. Can't get it. Ford on the weak side, rebound. Puts it up, can't get it. Phyllis Webb is there, she's bumped. Conrad fouls her. Osseo continuing to dominate the offensive glass here in the second half. Phyllis Webb fired up. Well, we'll see the replay here. Phyllis Webb fired up a tough shot. Port kept it alive, and then Webb got good position on the weak side board.
The Orioles have had, if you're a Cougar fan, far too many second chance and even third chance opportunities tonight as Conrad heads to the bench. She fouls out. She had 6 points and 6 boards with a few assists on the evening.
And
make that 7 boards.
Webb's missed a couple. She needs one at least and doesn't get that one. Huge free throw here for Phyllis Webb.
This is when your star players got to convert. You put the ball in her hands and you expect her to make things happen.
Got that one. 1 point game, so it's very unlikely that we're going to see overtime here unless there's a foul called. Centennial's going to go the length of the court in 6.7 seconds to try to win the game. Who do you expect, Bobby, will have the ball in their hands?
You know, you got to get the ball into Paige Wojtaszek's hands. She's your senior leader. If a shot goes begging and you don't convert, this is her last game. I don't know if they'll have her bring the ball up. They might run something with Katie Worth, bringing it up the court, get a screen for Wojtaszek, maybe same kind of play that Coach Reeser was drawing up. Get her some sort of a screen, roll off the elbow, and get a nice little 15 to 18-foot jump shot here to give her a chance to put one down and win this game for her team to advance to the section finals.
The difficult thing in these situations
and
is
she
that
can inbound it.
Yeah, it's often difficult in women's basketball. You need space to get a shot up. You know, if your defender's right there with 6.7 seconds, you're not going to elevate and be able to make a shot. So they're going to need. Wow, got to use another timeout wisely, but.
Strong defense there by the Orioles, and that's what they've had tonight, is strong defense, especially here in the second half. And that doesn't bode well for the Cougars when they've been playing, the Orioles have been playing such a great press. They're not going to shy away from it now with just under 7 seconds left to go. You're going to put that pressure on and make them heave some sort of a half-court, off-balance shot to try and beat you.
Yep, they do need to be very careful not to foul if they're going to put that kind of pressure on. If I was Greg Amundsen right now, I think I would tell whoever gets the ball to dribble like a mad person to the, just to get as close as possible to the basket and either get help and dish it off or maybe force the issue and get a foul called, because 6.7 seconds isn't really a lot of time to go end to end.
And I find it fairly interesting, and I'm no great basketball mind, but to have Paige Wojtaszek inbounding for you, I guess I understand she's probably your tallest player out on the court, so even if they put a taller defender on her, she can at least see over them. But you want the ball in Paige Wojtaszek's hands, I would imagine.
Yes.
But then again, hey, Coach Amundsen, he knows what he's doing.
Deflected. Destiny Morris gets both. They got a foul. They got a foul. They got a foul. They have time. I don't know why they gave up on that play.
Yeah, with 3.5, 4 seconds left, Paige Wojtaszek just seemed content with walking off the court. She walked right by Maddie Malone, didn't touch her, and was content with just letting the clock run off.
Katie Worth, a good job to know the situation there and foul, but it did look like J.C. Girding had a step on Janae Morton, and Paige Wojtaszek was trying to throw the baseball pass, but was not able to find J.C. Girding as it was deflected. If you're Maddie Malone, you might miss this one on purpose here. 1.5 seconds. She'll make it, which gives Centennial time. You gotta chuck it deep. I'm not sure why Coach Reeser uses a timeout there. That's what Centennial needed. I don't agree with that at all.
And again, not a great basketball mind. I know enough to get myself by. I like to think I know a little bit. But if I'm Coach Reeser, I want to take a timeout and make sure my girls understand, if you foul, I am going to be furious with you, because all that's going to happen on this play, as we take a look at the last chance, Wojtaszek tried to heave it deep, as you said, to Girding, and the Cougars couldn't corral it. Watch this. Wojtaszek just walks right by. I don't know what she's doing. You're talking about 2.5, 3 seconds more on the clock for an opportunity for them. And now they're only left with 1.5 seconds, which is about enough time to inbound it, catch, turn around, and just fire a prayer. But that's why Coach Reeser needs to tell his girls, hey, I'm okay with them heaving a 70-foot shot, because the likelihood of them sinking it is slim to none. But if you foul them on the shot and give them 3 opportunities at the charity stripe, that's unacceptable.
That's the game. They tried to find Paige Wojtaszek deep. She almost corralled it, but it was knocked away. And as we kind of sensed in that second half, Osseo just did enough to come all the way back from what was a 12-point deficit at one point in the second half. And they win by 3, holding Centennial to just 3 points, probably over the last 8 or 9 minutes.
Yeah, the Orioles clamped down on defense. They took Wojtaszek out of the game for the last half of the second half. Wojtaszek was a non-factor, and you could tell in her demeanor right there at the end of the game, not fouling when she should have fouled. I mean, for example, you have 4 seconds on the clock. On that long heave, now you actually have enough time to corral that loose ball and get a shot up, and it's frustrating to see that happen at the end of your last game of your senior year.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, it just kind of looked like the wind was taken out of their sails. They've seen this happen against Osseo twice this year, where in the second half they just can't do anything, and it seemed like they were resigned to the fact that Osseo would come back against them. So disappointing finish there for Centennial. The number 3 seed Osseo Orioles defeat the Centennial Cougars, the 2 seed. The 3rd time this year Osseo has beat Centennial.
Let's take a peek at the game summary of this wild section semifinal this evening. Final score, the Osseo Orioles win by 3, 54-51. They get that rebounding edge that wasn't there in the first half. Pretty even on assists. Centennial turning the ball over a ton in the second half. They only had 5 in the first half, and that's just 15 turnovers. That's shooting yourself in the foot. 3-point field goals. The Cougars were hot in the first half, couldn't hardly get any off in the second. And as you see, the Orioles, after no free throws in the first half, come out and they play aggressive and earn every bit of this victory here tonight.
Yeah, just 18 second half points for the Orioles. And, you know, like you mentioned, Osseo does a fantastic job of being aggressive in the second half, of getting to the line. And Centennial kind of, you know, got intimidated and scared and turned the ball over a bunch. And then, you know, Osceo's just got a bunch of very talented, very athletic, tough, hard-working players out there that made a lot happen for him in the second half.
Yeah, it'll be, I'm sure, tomorrow, Friday night, I do believe, is when the final is for this Section 5 4A, and I'm sure it'll be a dandy against the Osseo Orioles taking on the Roseville Raiders. So, you know, Casey, it was a great game, you know, to watch for everybody here with North Metro TV. Kent and Kip out in the truck, our fabulous crew, my partner Casey Johnson, I'm Bobby Ursland. Come back and see us next time, everybody. Have a great night.